I am excited to hear about you moving into. Well, should I not say this? It seems like you're kind of
moving into the trailer
to talk about moving out around your parents.
Mm.
I feel like whenever you get around them, you get quiet about the topic of moving.
A little bit, yeah.
Do you think they get offended?
I don't know if it's they get offended.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but
that seems like a normal conversation to have, you know.
Yeah, we've had it. It's just that I don't know what's happening.
Do you think they don't want you to leave?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know, man.
I'd be right for you to leave if I was your parent. Or if I was any kid's parent, though, not just you specifically.
No, you mean me specifically, Jared. It's okay.
Because I've never had a child, so I have no idea what I'm talking about.
That you know of.
All right, shut up. No, I'm kidding. Do you want to play a game?
Raid.
Yes, I do.
Raid the apology.
Coming in hot.
We have two options: quiet or blasting hot. I'm a big fan.
I like that. Blasting hot. Quiet or blasting hot.
Isn't that a Taco Bell flavor?
Is it? It should be.
Blasting hot, Los Doritos tacos.
So it sounds like it now when you say it like that.
First of all, let me turn off my ad blocker. So I'm always a fan of these failed marketing experiments or marketing campaigns. Okay, well,
you can talk about it. I can't preview it. Why can't I?
It's just the you laughing as I'm explaining it. And you're like, oh, I see it. Ruins the effect a little bit, but that's okay. We're now in a situation where Chad just reads over my shoulder. No, it doesn't matter. I'm just kidding. Tropicana apologizes for suggesting mimosas are the answer to pandemic parenting. Some people loved the ad, while others said it encourages using alcohol to cope with stress in drinking in secret. Now, first of all, I wonder how many people actually complain, because this is social media, where it's like, what's the I feel like you can see a complaint about everything that you post on social media, and it's like, yeah, there's always going to be complaints. You just didn't have such access to it until now. That's sometimes how I feel. Tropicana orange juice is under fire after a cheeky ad campaign that suggested parents stash the ingredients for a mimosa in fridges around the house to take a break. Okay, I didn't realize that part earlier when I read this. That's kind of hilarious.
That's kind of like icing people back when we were in college, just keeping them in like some spots stashed.
That could be seen as some dangerous behavior if you're, for alcohol drinking.
Right.
To hide alcohol.
True. But it's also a joke and a commercial,
sure,
right?
Of course,
of
course. The ad was found to be offensive by many social media users, including a sobriety group, which sounds like a fun bunch of people. The new ad campaign, which has since been shut down, was targeted at stressed out parents who have been home with their kids throughout the quarantine, and asked them to take a moment. Hashtag take them a moment for themselves.
I mean, that's a good marketing ploy.
I'll
give them that. Take them a moment.
It does take you got to say it once or twice.
I'm a little bummed, Jared. If you would have told me about this topic beforehand, we would have had some mimosas ready to have a little moment.
Hold on,
pod.
Chad. Let's take them a moment.
Exactly.
Hashtag. We put it on our Instagram.
Take them a moment.
Hilarious. For themselves, to hashtag take them a moment for themselves. But some commenters on Twitter were offended, pointing out the idea of drinking in secret from your family is probably not the healthiest way to cope with stress.
The
stress of the pandemic.
They're not wrong. And I'm sure...
Yeah, but orange juice in general is probably not the healthiest thing for you. Let's be honest.
Right. Well, you got to stick to high-quality H2O, Jared. That's for sure.
So it's like, honestly, which one is worse for you? Orange juice or champagne?
Which has more sugar?
I would say probably orange juice.
Then maybe orange juice. In how many qualities are we talking? Are we comparing just one glass?
That's the thing. Is it more dangerous to have bottle of champagne or a bottle of orange juice?
Right.
I'd say in the immediate, it's probably more dangerous to have a bottle of the champagne.
Probably.
In the long term, the long term, the champagne's still too.
Probably. maybe. Yeah.
Anyway,
your productivity level will probably go down a lot more after the whole bottle of champagne.
Here's the tweet that they did. Sharon Louise Lopp, parent, some responding to someone. Parents, you're juggling it all. Find the ultimate moment of brightness for yourself. whatever. Oh, excuse me. Wherever and I almost started singing.
You should, yeah, sing it out.
Wherever and whenever with a Tropicana mimosa, of course.
Oh man.
Hashtag take 'em a moment to help make your mornings a little brighter. And so it's a end table like in a closet. There's
that's
a whole.
That's kind of cool. I'm not even gonna lie. It looks like a toolbox.
Oh, in the bathroom.
You have a bathroom, like a little
So it's
cabinet.
a whole bunch of like cabinets that are essentially are made into like secret booze storage that are normal like tool storage or like a closet little cupboard or a bathroom.
So here's the deal, Jared. I love this commercial. I'm sorry.
You don't think it promotes unhealthy drinking and your house phone is ringing.
It is. It is. Yeah, here I can shut that off.
You don't think it promotes unhealthy drinking and a unhealthy family dynamic? Because I would say that maybe the sobriety group does have a point. That it is a interesting marketing campaign. You know, the sneak some booze. You know.
I mean, that message about it obviously isn't a good one, sure. But at the same time, like it's First of all,
I think it's. I understand.
Can you play the commercial one more time? I'd like to see it again.
I'm gonna kind of agree with you. By the way, I was just
right because here's the deal.
Like your house phone.
I mean, they have you're good. They have. First of all, the reason why I think this commercial is kind of funny is, they have these fridges in these unsuspecting places. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, you can see a bottle of champagne. You can see a bottle of Tropicana orange juice in a champagne glass.
They say drink responsibly like you're supposed to do legally.
Right. But also at the same time, like, I don't see how this is promoting, quote unquote, sneaking. It's not like you're drinking it and hiding. And let's be honest. I mean,
it's just more for convenience.
Exactly.
Where it's like you pour it and then it's sitting on the counter. Or you don't like it's not like someone's coming in and you turn around like no it's just orange juice I need
right. This isn't a mimosa. I'm not having a moment.
I imagine they pour it and then they put it on the counter and then it's like someone walks in and it's like, oh, you're taking a moment, pour me one.
Exactly. Now see why they didn't do that in the commercial. I don't know. That would have cleared everything up, Jared.
So let me read a little more because we have to get to the apology. I haven't even gotten to the apology.
Oh, that's true.
The ad campaign from Mullen Lova. How do you say Lova without in American? Lowe. Mullen Lowe, probably.
Is it Lowe? Yeah,
probably. PR and Kramer Kraslett also asked parents to share stories of how they take a break. Celebrities like Molly Sims, Gabrielle Union, and Jerry O'Connell were slated to participate on social media in the ad. Many fridges are hidden in the closet, in the garage, and even in the bathroom, filled with ingredients for a mimosa, which includes, the sparkling wine and the OJ. A firestorm of negative comments ensued, calling the brand out on what some felt was a tasteless way to encourage juice drinking. It's first of all, that's the best way to drink juice. That's honestly the only reason I drink juice anymore is if there's booze in it.
Is if you're having a moment.
Not a mimosa specifically, but cranberry juice is best served with vodka. Yeah,
that's a good. Yeah. First of all, Jared, before you
probably gonna be gin in there.
Before you continue, please drink responsibly.
Yes,
okay,
that's true.
Continue.
That's thank you.
Yeah,
the lawyers
you're right though.
Off camera,
shaking their heads at both of us.
Hey,
exactly.
Say it. This is from someone on Twitter. The @Tropicana hashtag Take a Moment campaign. Women lying to their women. Why? Where did it ever specify women?
Yeah,
there's no people in this ad.
Yeah, I know. That's weird.
What are you talking about? Oh, they were responding to someone.
Oh, I see.
I
gotcha.
think, or is who's Sharon? Oh, that's just some random person that they're saying this to.
Huh?
Did they just pick like
Sharon
a random?
Do?
Did they just pick like a random? Maybe they just pick like a random follower, and like this is sort of like a marketing campaign to just pick a random follower. And like hit them up and be like, you deserve to take them a moment. Oh, look, it's at the top of there. I'll get to that in a second.
That would be hilarious.
I think that's
why haven't we been hit up and gotten them a moment, Jared?
This is unacceptable. I'm sober.
Yeah. And I enjoy Tropicana orange juice as well. So
yeah, because this person is just some random person that has like 200 followers on Twitter. It's not like this is some celebrity that endorses it or something. So right. I don't even know. Man, and she does tweet a lot though. She's clearly gunning to get every free thing on her Twitter. Look at this. This is like brand Raising. I love Raising Cane's, by the way. Utz.
What's Utz? Is it like a clothing store?
No, it's a potato chip
Oh,
or
really?
A cracker
Okay.
company. Stouffer's.
Oh, yep.
Jeez. T-Mobile. She's trying to
getting
get
all
every
the-
sweepstake.
That's
I can't
awesome.
even
That's
Kodak
hilarious.
Plus, Budweiser,
Nice.
more T-Mobile, Chips Ahoy. I can't even find.
I mean, why else do people use Twitter,
Shop
Jared?
Trend, Lipton
That's
tea.
hilarious.
I can't even.
Amazon.
I can't Budweiser
Oh, man.
again. Racing. I can't even find
Amazon
the Tropicana
again.
thing
Nice.
because there are so many.
Sweepstakes. That's hilarious.
There are so many
Mountain Dew.
campaigns. I can't just scroll through.
Lipton tea. Oh my gosh.
Allure beauty product or bath fashions.
Oh my god.
Amazon
this is funny.
Music. Oh my gosh. Butterfinger. Stella Artois.
And these are all just retweets, right?
This is like a soccer player's jersey.
Right.
AT&T.
Right. Or a NASCAR jersey, more like
yeah,
it, but
NASCAR
yeah.
car.
Right.
Oh my gosh,
man,
Pizza
that's
Hut.
funny.
Wow.
I wonder if she's gotten any of these.
PlayStation.
PlayStation 5, Lay's chips. Dear Lord.
She
Wow.
clearly has no problem with booze ads though, because
Right.
she has some Budweiser stuff.
Well,
in
because
it.
she wants to take him a moment, Jared.
I think
It's
it was
that
from
simple.
December 6th specifically. I just went to her profile because I'm like, there's no way I'd be going to coupon clipping.
Who knew that was the thing on? That's hilarious. If
this
coupon
is-
clipping became
dude,
a thing
actually,
on Twitter.
now that I think about it, that's not surprising at all. I mean, couponing is a thing.
Yeah,
Well, of course, you can take it to social media.
of course.
All right, I don't even know why they picked her.
All
up,
right,
'cause I can't
let's
even
get to
find
this
anyway.
apology.
Yeah. So, let me just finish. Women lying to their families, sneaking off to consume alcohol hidden in secret compartments,
Which I did not get that from the ad, by the way.
slamming a mimosa in the laundry room isn't cute, and it's not treating yourself. That's 1950s mother's little helper bullshit. Here's another one. Hashtag
I like
take
how
a
you read
moment.
it in that tone, by the way. Can
Yeah,
I
'cause
just
that's what that
give you a
person
moment to
sounds like.
acknowledge it? For
What
sure.
are you talking about? I mean, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking
No,
about
no,
the person that
yeah.
tweeted this.
No, I know.
Like, there's so many things that are just made up that aren't even in this.
I will say
ad.
though that
no
drinking,
one slammed a mimosa.
right. I will say though that drinking in secret, I do think that would be kind of that mommy's little helper BS
Sure,
from back in
sure.
the day. But I agree with you. Their tone is
They're not saying it has to be a secret. They're just
Right.
saying, to me, it gives the tone of have it handy.
Yeah, be ready for that
Exactly.
moment when
Exactly.
that moment
'Cause
calls
then
you,
they're,
Jared.
they're not saying sneak it. It's like then you're welcome to put it on
Right.
the table.
Exactly.
Anyway, Tropicana heard you guys.
Listen, an apology. Okay,
and
let's
they
hear
responded.
it. Let's hear it.
All right. Here it is.
I wish we had some like sad, dramatic apology music to go while we listen.
I'll
to
have
this.
to do with my voice.
Okay, that'll work. I'll
We
try
want to
hold back the
apologize
tears.
to anyone who is disappointed in or offended by our recent campaign. The intent behind it was in no way meant to imply that alcohol is the answer or make light of the struggles of addiction. While we believed we were bringing the hashtag Take 'em a Moment program to life in the right way, through a message of positivity and balance mixed with a bit of levity, we hear the feedback that for some we've missed the mark. Accordingly, we're ceasing any further activity in support of the campaign. We know the comments and perspectives that have been shared, and we'll use it as a lens for evaluating future campaigns. Tropicana, pure premium.
That was pretty good. That was
Thank
pretty
you.
solid.
If you need a PR person, hire me. That's what I do.
Okay, well let's. I was so distracted by your calm and soothing apologetic voice, Jared. Can I see the apology again?
You have to see it.
Yeah, I just want to.
It's written. It's the background is the brand colors.
Yep, it's yellow and green, which is terrible in terms of trying to read this. By the way, Tropicana.
So they apologize to anyone who is disappointed and or offended by their recent campaign. The intent behind it was in no way meant to imply that alcohol is the answer or to make lights of the struggles of addiction. We believe that we were bringing the hashtag Take 'em a Moment program to life in the right way through a message of positivity and balance.
Positivity.
Mixed. It makes me laugh every time. With a bit of levity, we hear the feedback that for some we've missed the mark. Accordingly, we've ceased any further activity in support of the campaign. We value the was that me? No, that wasn't me. We value the oh, I hope I'm not messing up again.
No, you're good.
We value the comments and perspectives that have been shared, and we'll use it as a lens for evaluating future campaigns. So now they just essentially,
Oh, man.
so they just have to remove the booze aspect from the campaign, is what they're saying.
I guess. But then you
How
can't
do you
take them a
advertise
moment.
booze?
I mean, I don't know. How does Budweiser...
But Budweiser is explicitly an alcohol company.
That's
that makes it a
true.
little easier, I guess.
Right. And oh, yeah. Okay.
Is it the
Yeah.
problem that they're advertising booze or specifically that they're sneaking it,
I think it might be both. I didn't think about that. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, Tropicana isn't a booze company. They're a juice company. So I guess I could see how that's a little problematic. But
And then, of course, most people in the comments were like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, that's kind of how it works.
That's so funny too. Like people, like the tweet where they do make the joke about having sneak mimosas or like sneak locations. People are like, "This is horrid," and then when they reply, people are like, "All right, come on, it's not that big of a deal."
Right. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know which would be worse.
You know
right?
what
the alcohol or the sneaking.
I wish I could find some. Yeah, see, so this guy's like, screw the apology. The appropriate response is lighten up.
Yep.
Now people
Lighten
are like,
up, Karen.
Now people are like, who cares? And someone's like, I'll
Yes,
have a
they're
mimosa
posting
in
their
honor.
moments now.
I'll have a mimosa in honor of this. And then in hashtag cancel culture. Is that
Yep.
cancel culture? It's not like they could have easily kept this up.
Right.
It's
It's not cancel culture because they're not like I don't see droves of people being like we
Yeah.
need to boycott
It's not like-
Tropicana.
exactly.
Never drink their juice
It's
again.
not like the Goya company,
Right.
which is I think more a victim. I don't say victim, but because he seems to be
Did it
doing
themselves.
fine. But like that I could see that being an argument for cancel culture, maybe, but not this. It's like they chose to take it down.
Right.
It's like that was not, they didn't have to do that.
I don't think there was ever like serious outrage.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, they found a couple. This article found like a couple, freaking people being.
Can you read a
"This is
couple more
terrible."
of them?
Sure, of course. As a mom who likes a special mimosa, and who still has to sneak away from teens to have a hot bath alone, I will be buying more. Oh, this is a positive one.
Nice. Read it. Read the
Oh.
positive ones too, Jared. We want
I
to
thought
hear
you went
these.
to. I will be buying more Tropicana. My little brother is recovered alcoholic and would think this campaign is cute. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. People don't care.
Any other negative ones?
No,
now?
no. This article's stupid. They found 2 negative ones.
That's real outrage.
They found
Jared.
They found more tweets saying "I don't care" than they found negative
Yeah.
ones for the article about how Tropicana took it. Maybe also because they came after the fact, so maybe they only caught on to this after when the apology came up, so they didn't have
Okay.
as much access to the responses because the tweet had already been taken down. That could be it
Right.
too.
Yeah, that could be. That's funny though. I this one's a hard one to rate, Jared, because I don't think the apology is fully warranted. But I think they were trying to fix the situation as it came. You know what? I'll give them an 8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10. That's pretty good.
I can't give them a 10 out of 10 because I don't know. I just feel weird. That would mean it would be perfect, right?
I mean, I think it's a good apology. I think I'd agree with you. I mean, they if you're going to apologize, even if we think it's dumb, if you're going to apologize, acknowledge what you did wrong.
Yep.
Say that's we don't support our actions.
And what course of
And
action you'll take
Going
to correct
forward,
it, which they
we'll
did.
definitely keep this in mind for future campaigns.
Yep.
And so I think that's what I mean. We might find it pointless, but that is what an apology should be, I guess. So I'm
Yeah.
with you.
I
I'd
think
give
it's
that
solid.
an 8. It's a good
I'd
apology.
give it an 8.
Read
It's
the
solid.
apology.
It hit all the marks you need for an apology. I mean, I think maybe I take away a couple because I'm saying it hit all the marks. I would say, well, then why not 10? I think maybe there is still a level of genuineness for me. Some of it is like there, and then also I don't know. I think that maybe there's a genuine level to it to me where I'm like, this isn't necessary.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think the context of the apology itself makes it hard to, in a way, give it a 10, which is a little unfair. But at the same time, yeah, it's. But I think in terms of if you look
Now,
at
maybe
it,
if they would have also said like what's wrong with what they were highlighting, because they didn't really say that. It was more like we didn't mean to make light of the problems with addiction. And
Right.
it's like but they're not saying we realize that because they're saying we didn't we didn't mean to make light of it, rather than we're sorry for doing it.
Exactly.
Which I think is actually a slight difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in their case, they're like, we're not apologizing for. I think it's fair to also not apologize. I'm going to give it a 9. It's fair to not apologize for something, but to apologize for something else, which is kind of what they did.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay. Yeah, I think 9's pretty fair.
I think I take away a point because it's like I mean it's kind of it seems a little frivolous for to make this big of a deal about it.
That's true. Yeah.
I feel like it almost would have been less of a big deal if you just moved on.
Probably, and just took the ad down, but
Sure.
yeah,
but then people probably would have sent the powers or something.
I wonder if at the same time, some companies try to establish that social media presence, and I think they view it as, hey, we might get more business, more customers. We're talking about it right now.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I might have some Tropicana orange juice after we finish this little podcast.
You have Tropicana here?
Probably. We
Yeah.
might.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Tropicana in the home. But anyway, yeah. I mean, that was a good apology.
Not too bad.
If you feel like you need to do it, then go ahead. Do
Right.
it.
Exactly.
We're not going to stop you.
Yeah, and I would say in terms of the actual contents of the apology, it was fairly
Yeah,
solid.
you hit the marks.
Yeah, I would.
Do you have a shout out for us?
No, I do not.
You do not.
I
Okay.
do
Well, let's
not.
get into the untranslatables.
Let's do it.
Not every episode has to be 2 hours.
That is true.
Believe it or not.
Right. Here we are doing the untranslatables, which are idioms, proverbs, axioms, sayings, words that don't always translate on a one-to-one basis into English, and definitely things that are not clear. And we are your certified, tried and true untranslatable experts here.
I've been
figure
hearing
these out
some
for you.
more just from the world, but I need to be in a place where I'm ready to write them down more often, because I'm enjoying bringing in the ones from the real world,
The organic untranslatables.
Where as I listen to it, I'm like, what does that mean? Like struppy, for example.
That was a good one. What does that one mean again?
Oh man, I think it means to be like a hot tempered.
That's right. That's
and
right.
like sort of a problematic person essentially. Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I have another Gujarati one for us, and it's once again that double A like we had in the last episode.
Either or ah.
Right.
We're not sure.
Or tara lagan nati. This isn't your wedding.
So it's like butt out. Like
No.
This is an A-B conversation, Jared. See your way out of
That's what we would think, and obviously that's what I first thought too.
Okay.
But no, but it is. Think about. No, that's not it. But think about if I came over here, and when I first got out of my car and you come to the garage or whatever, and you're like, "Whoa, Jared, this isn't your wedding." Why would you say that to
slow down?
me? Why would you say that to me?
Slow down.
Slow down? Do people go fast at weddings?
No, I don't know.
Or would you say, "Whoa, Jared, is this your wedding?" Maybe you'd say,
Are you in a rush?
Why do you keep thinking
I don't
rush?
know why. I don't know why. Can you give me another example?
Maybe at if you go to start work at like I don't know. It means to be overdressed.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. Oh, well, you do look good today, but I wouldn't have thought of overdressed.
I didn't mean specifically right now. I just meant in general.
I see.
I just meant in general, like
That makes sense now that you mention it, though. You dress formally for a wedding.
right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's like, what are you dressing for your wedding? Essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like
and
that.
the thing is, at the wedding, it is generally speaking that the bride and groom are supposed to be the best looking people there.
Right. In theory.
So it's like, why are you dressing so hard?
Right. If Jared's there, that's a different story.
Yeah, sorry,
though.
I'm gonna outdress you. It's just gonna happen.
Is this your wedding, Jared?
It's also apparently if someone's accessorized a lot.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nice. Well, let me get you started with a Thai untranslatable, which is Job Pla Song Moi, I think. Catch a fish with two hands.
It's like you're going full force into a project, giving 150%.
I can see why you would think that, but no.
Catching a fish with two hands, overworking, doing unnecessary work.
Do you think you can? Do you think you can really catch a fish with two hands?
Doing an impossible job. impossible task.
I'm trying to think of a way I can explain.
Doing a
explain
heroic
this to you.
action.
No. This is more like. So, for example, Jared. Okay, you have some time off from work, right? So you're like, you know what, Chad? I'm going to go
Twiddling your thumbs.
No, I'm going to go hiking, and then when I'm done hiking, I'm gonna write a book, and then while I'm writing my book, I'm also going to already make money off of ads for my book. No, I can't give you a good example here.
Getting ahead of yourself?
No, I can't explain this one other than it's basically to have your cake and eat it too.
Okay, what's the literal again?
Catch a fish with two hands.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Right.
I mean, have your cake and eat it too is kind of a hard thing to explain too.
Right. Exactly. That's why. Yeah.
It's like you want the best of both worlds.
Right. Exactly. Or like to explain. Or it sounds.
Isn't it sort of like, in college they said you have to choose between good grades, a good social life, and something else.
Which is kind of true.
But there was one other third thing in there, and it's like you have to pick two of them. That was the thing that I remember hearing in college. And I don't remember what the third thing was, but that's what I kind of think of when I hear that. It's just an example.
Well, in this one also, so it's like to spend or use something up, but still have it, or also to have two things when you have to choose one, I guess is the way they explain this one. So,
sure. All right. I have an Italian untranslatable for you. And it's La mamma di cretini è sempre incinta.
I didn't understand you because you didn't Italianize.
La mamma di cretini è sempre incinta.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Something about the mom and always?
Very good.
Siempre is always, right?
Yeah, sempre.
Uh-huh.
The mother of idiots is always pregnant.
Oh, I like that. Let me digest that one for a second here.
The mother of idiots is always pregnant. I had the definition for this, or the meaning for this, obviously, when I found it. And I still had to stop and think about that for a second. It's like, wait a second, the mother of idiots.
So it's basically like you inherit the bad habits from your mom? Or from your parent? Or from...
No.
No?
Well, I mean, that's true. But the essentially saying the person that gives birth to idiots is always pregnant. I mean, that's what it says. The mother of idiots is always pregnant.
What does that mean, though?
That means that there are what is always pregnant. So why is it that the mother of idiots?
Because she's not smart. Because she can't. I don't.
No.
Unless she wants to always.
Essentially,
be
it's like a sucker idiot is born every minute. Like there's a
there's a lot of sucker.
And it's saying like it's always the.
There's a lot of
the
stupid
mothers of
people
idiots
out
that
there.
are the pregnant ones. Like why is it always the mother of idiots that are the pregnant ones?
Right. It's not the mothers of the smart ones that are always
there's so many.
pregnant.
It's almost like the opposite end
that's
of
funny.
like why must the good die young, but on the birth side.
Oh, interesting. That's a good comparison. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you say it in Italian one more time?
La mamma dei cretini è sempre incinta.
Okay. And Cinta is pregnant?
I guess so.
Okay.
I mean, I guess so if I'm, putting it together.
Okay. That makes sense.
Do you have
though.
another untranslatable?
Yeah.
Because I have another Italian one that I might as well throw at you.
Throw it out, because I want to give you a Mandarin one. So.
Okay, yeah. O mangi questa minestra o salti dalla finestra. You should know some of those
Something
words.
about window.
Here, let me start over because you should know more than that.
Okay.
O mangi questa minestra o salti dalla finestra.
Yeah.
You don't know mangi?
No, what's that?
That's to eat.
Yeah.
In French, it's like mange. So it's similar in French.
Okay.
That's how
I would have thought it would have been
close.
closer to Spanish with like something like.
Oh, that
cognac.
makes sense. Sure.
But yeah. Okay.
I just happened to see that one. Either eat this soup. Minestra, I guess, is soup, I imagine.
Oh, like minestrone, maybe?
I mean, that's a kind of soup, I guess.
Right.
Minestra, minestrone.
No idea. Anyway.
You based that. The only thing we know about minestrone is essentially all from Olive Garden, just so everyone knows.
That's true.
Either eat the soup or jump out the window.
My way or the highway.
There you go. Take it.
Oh, yeah. I like that one.
Yeah. Eat the soup or jump out the window.
I like you.
O mangi questa minestra o salti dalla finestra. But I don't think I have the inflections in the right place for that sort of sentence.
Okay. Yeah, I could.
O mangi questa minestra o salti dalla finestra. You kind of have to be like in the middle, like do this or salty da la finestra.
You should ask your boss how to say these.
He's gonna ask questions. He's gonna be like, "Why would you want to know this? Why
Just
are you
be like,
looking
I read
up?"
this on the internet, or
That's
I saw
true.
it.
I could do that.
I
That's a
mean,
good point. That's a good point.
What is he going to question
I'm
you
just
that
so
much
scared.
further?
I'm so scared.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
Don't
Jared.
find me, anyone.
Right.
Untranslatable podcast on Untranslatable on Instagram though.
That's right. Okay, so this one is Mandarin, and I'm going to try to pronounce it. That first character, Jared, is shui.
Okay.
Shui means
How
water.
shui?
Rush hour, right? No.
No, that's Kanye when he's talking to Sway in the morning.
Oh,
At
that's
interview.
right. That's right. Anyways.
Or Sway, not in the morning, but the Sway radio show, whatever it's
So,
called.
let's see here. So it is shui hua, and hua is like product or good. So it means water products. And here, now we can listen to the legit speaker of it.
水货
There you go.
Shui Hua.
Shui hua. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
is it Shui or Shay?
Shui.
Do
It's-
it one more time.
水货
Shui Hua.
水货
Sounds like
Shui
Shay.
Hua.
It sounds like Shay Hua to me still.
But anyways, water products.
Water products. Is that like just cheap goods? Expendable goods?
I think it's a little darker than that.
Water products. Is that like the chemicals you use to embalm a dead body?
No, well, just think about.
Is that too dark?
Yes, yes, just a little bit. Think about the context. So in China, why would they have water goods?
Water goods. I don't like teas. Oh, is it like to poo to help you poo?
No.
Take these water goods, it'll help you.
So here, let me
Keep you regular?
kind of explain this and see if this will help you. So
What about China specifically? Is
what is China known for?
cheap products?
Okay, are all of those products always authentic?
So like they fall apart easily as water goods, or fake products?
Fake products, and are those fake products generally legal?
I guess not.
So how do you
Seems
think
like
they
they are.
distributed some of these fake products?
Water. Oh, they're like sort of illegal products.
It's,
So almost like a bootleg movie, for example.
yeah,
Okay,
that could
I
be a
see.
water product.
or like a fake watch or something
Yep,
like that.
that
I
could be a
gotcha.
water
I
product.
gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, so here's the story, Jared. So,
China's filled with water products.
yes, so it means smuggled goods or contraband goods, unauthorized shoddy products, origin before smugglers. Shout out to Lawai idioms, by the way. That's where I'm getting this from.
Interesting that's a China. I guess I do know that reputation and brands are a big deal in China. So I wonder if like there is a big sort of stigma to wearing some of the water products. Like that's like
I think some people don't really care. I think it's only certain types of. I don't think it's as big of a deal over there as you would think. I think your common person over there doesn't really give a crap about a lot of that stuff, to be honest.
okay because it's so easy to get stuff that's pretty good quality stuff that is
Really cheap.
a knockoff North Face or knockoff anything really anything you could think
so
of.
Here's the rest of the story. So before smugglers used plastic bags to seal the goods shipped from foreign ships and put them into the agreed shallow sea, their partners used to come by small boats to the hidden place where the goods were like afloat,
Okay.
basically. So water.
Oh, so they pick them up in the water, like they drop them in the sea somewhere.
Yep.
And like this is where we do the handoff.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
That's a
So
cool
water,
story.
Water products. Let me give you another one. This one is a good one. It's kind of gross, but here we go. So it is. I'm going to butcher this, I'm sure, but here we go. Da jishu. Let's see.
打鸡血
Dajisha.
I got that tone wrong.
打鸡血
Dajisha. And dajisha means spray chicken blood.
Is that like to crack up laughing?
You know you're not far. It's not to crack up laughing, but you're going down the right path.
Interesting.
Here,
Crying? Like crying, like bawling your eyes out, crying.
Jared. Not quite.
Like someone that's super dramatic, someone that's overly dramatic, maybe.
So let me give you an example. So, I've been, I told you before we started recording today that Santa came early, and your boy finally got a 12-string acoustic guitar that I've been waiting for years, right? And I can tell you, if I would have gotten this guitar when I was younger, I would have definitely sprayed chicken blood.
Wasting money?
No, I would have...
broken it?
My reaction to it when I received it.
to freak out. I see, to freak out. Oh, that's a... Oh, can I... That's a great Christmas one, by the way.
Oh, it is. You're
Remember
right.
like those videos on YouTube of like someone getting a PlayStation and they freak out? To spray chicken blood. And that's like to freak out in excitement.
So let me read you the info here. So this is also from Lawai Idioms on Instagram. A person's sudden excitement towards a particular person or thing used to satirize this ridicule behavior. The origin came from the 1980s healthcare method.
So it's kind of a joke. Like you make fun of someone that's
for
doing
like
that.
freaking out. Right.
Okay.
Right.
You wouldn't use that about yourself.
Right. So the origin came from the 1980s health care method called chicken blood therapy, where blood from a year-old rooster was drawn for injection. The person
Into a human?
who was injected with chicken blood was turning red and was very energetic. So
That can't be good.
Probably not. Probably not. I don't know, Jared. I'm no medical doctor. I'm no chicken doctor. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
Speaking of places that I would love to visit but not live, wherever they're injecting... Actually, I don't want to visit that place either, now that I think about that. That seems terrifying.
Sure you don't want any experimental medical treatments with some chicken blood?
No. Although people do travel to like Mexico and stuff, at least people here in the U.S.
Or Canada.
For like various procedures
or pharmaceutical drugs or what have you. Yeah. Yeah, but let's talk about places that might be good to visit, but maybe not necessarily good to live, and vice versa. I think there might be some places that would be great to live in, but not great to visit, depending on,
That's true, sure.
How you like to live.
So from what I know about you, Chad, you want to live in a Dexter-esque community. So Dexter is where we are here in Michigan. It's the country, essentially. You drive by cows to get here.
Yep.
And you like the remoteness. You were talking about buying some land and living in
middle of nowhere, basically.
Yeah, living in the middle of nowhere earlier today, and that seemed very appealing to you. I imagine on a lot of your travels you haven't seeked out these styles of location.
Yeah, I think remote travel is for a very specific type of person. I also think for remote travel, I think it's better served if you have more time to spend there. Because if I'm going to be somewhere for a short period of time, I just don't see what the point is of going out into nature for a very short period of time if I could go out to nature somewhere near me for a short period of time much easier. So if I really want to experience something more remote, I think it's better. Like, if you're going to go see the Grand Canyon, I wonder if it's worth... Like, I think probably the way a lot of people do it is they go there for a day, they see it, and they're done.
Oh,
right?
you think so?
Maybe.
And then they go back to whatever major cities close by.
Whereas it's like you're... Right. But if you're out in somewhere like so... like
So you're not like a... But also these middle of nowhere people could be avid, like, campers and stuff. You have no interest in... Not that you have no interest, but you're not like a camp enthusiast.
Well, definitely not. But I wouldn't mind. Once again, this is all about. Can you rent a cabin there? Is there? We've talked about like RVs, rent an RV. So, but once again, this goes down to. I think it's like also not very cost efficient if you wanted to rent an RV to go. Go camping out in the Grand Canyon for. Like, I don't know. I think
it would be
expensive.
Interesting. I do like the idea, though, of traveling to countries and not just hitting the major city. So maybe you don't go to a place as remote as Dexter in a different country, but going to like a medium-sized city rather than just like the main city could be very appealing.
Of course.
And so maybe Dexter is an extreme example, but you also see an interest in living in like Metro Detroit as well. Like that's an option too.
Right.
And so like imagine like a mid-level sort of visiting that sort of. Does that interest you at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I did that a lot when I was in the Czech Republic.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And that was a blast.
I think for me, when it comes to deciding on where, what would be a good place to visit but not live, probably is mostly coming down to financial stuff.
I would agree.
Financial is actually a big one of them, because there's these hot places are usually the places where it cost exorbitant amount, whatever the word is to live there. Not
exorbitant amount.
Yeah, exorbitant. Yeah. Okay. Like, for example, our buddy Don used to live in San Francisco.
That was one on my list.
And San Francisco is a cool place to visit, but it's like, I can't live here. This dude, like, I don't want to put him put him out on blast, but he was making a healthy salary in most cities, and it netted him like a closet, a Harry Potter-esque closet. And I was like, "You're making way too much money to live like this." I was like, "This doesn't even make any sense."
Right.
And so like that would bring me no enjoyment. Even if to get to have like a job I want and live in a cool city, it's like it's not really enjoyable to me if I'm living terribly. You know,
I agree.
It's
That's
like
why
I need
I like
some standard
Michigan.
of living there. Yeah,
That's why I like Michigan. It's not that hard to save your money
but
here.
the industry, for a lot of times, if the most booming aspects of whatever industry you're into are potentially going to be in these big cities.
Right.
And then another thing that I noticed, actually about Don too, is that he like started to but he seemed to have a hatred for tourists.
Oh yeah,
That's another thing about
huge aspect
about living in the tourist locations is it really makes you hate them. They get in the way.
I got a little.
They're loud.
I had some animosity for
They're
a lot of the tourists
absent-minded.
in Vienna when we were there, and we were only there for a short period of time.
After we've been there for 2 months, we think we're professionals. We're
Right.
like, look at these freaking tourists.
Right, but I can see where that comes from.
Yeah.
you know?
And they're so easy to spot. That yeah. But I
Taking
think
pictures of everything.
I think I would definitely. Would it? Do you think it would? It would bother you to live in a touristy city, like if you lived in Berlin or even Beijing, for example, to just constantly be surrounded by tourists.
I couldn't do it for.
How did you feel about
forever.
it in Vienna?
Once again, I liked it, but if I was in Vienna, I would be living in the residence.
Sure. I mean,
districts.
it's fun for us in college to do that. I mean,
But
obviously, you don't want to live out in the middle of
actually
nowhere.
living. Yeah, I would be more in the residential areas.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
That's true.
I couldn't
mean,
do it for a long time.
Yeah, and it is. I don't think I don't like that. That hatred of tourists.
Animosity towards
But I guess I
tourists.
get it. It's like they're just always kind of in the way.
But it's ironic too, because on some degree, to some level, they're in the way. Mm-hmm. But also, some places where tourism is the main industry that's what's also, what do you think is filling your pockets?
Well, some of those tourist places, like I think if you were another place that I like the idea of visiting but not living, would be like a tropical island or something like that. And I think that in some of those places, I haven't been to a lot of tropical islands, maybe once or twice. But I think in some of those places that are super tourist heavy, and even in a place like Vienna as well, you can tell that they really there is a lot of over catering to tourists.
Sure.
Like when you walk past a restaurant, when you walk past any sort of like the Staatsoper or something like that, I can imagine that at a tropical island where there are a lot of very tourist attraction-y things to do, like a zip line or something. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up.
Right.
Where it's like there is almost that sort of fake friendliness with I hate to say it's fake because maybe it is
Maybe
real,
it's not,
like maybe
yeah.
it's genuine, but it is sort of like but it is clearly, I'll say, whether it's real or fake, it's clearly targeted at the tourist because as we know in Vienna, if walking past the Staatsoper, which you have to essentially do every day for us the way we came to get to school, it was very easy to get the people dressed up as Mozart's attention and to get them to ignore you. All you had to do was look at the Staatsoper in a slightly interested fashion, and they run up to you.
Yep.
But if you walk past it and fully ignore it, like it's just some building that you see every day, they don't really pay any attention. Like it was really that easy to get their attention.
That's true.
So I think I could actually get past that. I don't think that would bother me. I think maybe I'd be, because like in that sense, it's like, I mean, they're the idiots paying it. Like I don't have any sort of guilt in ignoring these people because I walk by these people every day.
Right. You get used to that, and I think some of them also recognize you if you do live there.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
they'll
true.
see you too.
The thing about a place like Vienna or Germany specifically, though, is they're also very sensitive to loud people. They do not. I mean, a lot of European places are, but Germans really don't like loudness.
Which is good, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, if
And
you're on
so-
public transit, it's fairly quiet. You're
But I
right.
think in general, it is easy to spot a tourist. That's not just a Germany thing. I mean, no matter where you are, really, especially an American tourist or
Yeah, I was just gonna
Australian
say,
tourist,
yeah.
maybe, or sometimes
or British, if they're
yeah.
out, especially those
All
stag
the
parties in
English-speaking
Prague.
Westerners
We can be a little too loud.
are too loud, apparently.
Just a little bit, yeah.
And so, so I don't think the tourist stuff would bother me. And that's the thing is, like, I lived in Philadelphia, which is a tourist city, I guess. And I would say, in the city. I was a, I don't know, 5-minute drive to Center City, 5 to 10-minute drive to Center City, maybe 10. Let's say 10 minutes. 10-minute drive to Center City. You know, I could walk there if I really wanted to in like 30 minutes. But like just being a 30-minute walk from the city and still being in the city, it still felt like the city. There were buildings and stuff around. It was a completely different vibe. Like, there were no tourists there. And so, like, the overload of tourists, I don't think would really bother me. And I think what would bother me maybe if I was like in something like a market and they were just absentmindedly in your way.
Right.
Maybe traffic-wise.
That gets irritating, yeah. Commuting and traffic.
Traffic would actually be a big part for me now that I think about it. Because but I guess I could take public transportation too if I
True.
was in a place that. But if I couldn't take public transportation, traffic would definitely annoy
Speaking
me.
of traffic and transportation, here's one place that I wonder if it's a better place to visit than to live. I've never visited or lived, but this was one that I was kind of thinking about, was Venice, Italy.
yeah,
Getting around everywhere, right? Because they don't have, you get around almost everywhere by boats, right?
Yeah, I don't really. I didn't. To be honest with you, I mean, I've been to Rome, and I guess I've been to also Torino and another northern Italy city that I can't remember.
I've heard Rome is actually also not a great place to live. It's a good place to visit, but not the best place to live because
Well,
of all the
I enjoyed
tourists.
Rome. I enjoyed Rome. It was a tourist overload. Like, it almost felt like a field trip a little bit.
Okay.
There were so many tourists around, especially because I hit the tourist traps. I saw the Spanish Steps. I saw the Sistine Chapel in Vatican. I saw that fountain with that little old, building there where everyone takes those pictures. I don't remember what the fountain's called. But, I hit all the tourist traps, and it did feel like I was on a field trip, even though, but I'll say this, the food was, at least the food I had was better in Rome. And just the I didn't like the water of Venice was like a cool novelty. Like, you can smell it all the time.
Right.
It doesn't feel as convenient, like, just as a way to live.
Right.
It wasn't wasn't a place that I would really have much interest in going back to. Be
If
honest
you
with
like cars, what are you going to do?
yeah, but most of my travels aren't really about liking cars. But that's true.
Right.
I mean, that's definitely
But
true.
I'm
It's
saying
not a place
to
to go
live.
as a car enthusiast.
Right.
Oh yeah, sure. But like, even as a tourist and a person that probably would like to try to go back to Italy at some point, I probably would have actually on my last trip. Venice is not on my list ever, really. And I've been there once, but I think that's enough for me. It was cool to
Okay.
see, and it was a cool sort of novelty of a night of a place. But it's kind of felt like a novelty to me.
Any other places kind of like that with that novelty that
The novelty, huh? I mean, some places that I could think of. Speaking of novelty, or any sort of I'd say most amusement park cities that I've been to have been in cities that I have no interest in staying in.
Okay.
But like, I'll make a point to go to Cedar Point, but I have no interest in Sandusky, Ohio.
Right.
I've been through Sandusky, Ohio, and it's you've been to Albion.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's probably not that bad, but it's just like, but I do make a point to go to Cedar Point if I can, and I'd say, but I think to have an amusement park, it's kind of got to be in like a lot of empty space, like Disney in Orlando or something like that. It's like, I don't want to go to.
I'm so glad you mentioned Orlando because I think Orlando is a place where
There's no other reason to visit,
Right.
Or the city of Orlando,
right, like
That in Universal.
exactly. I feel like a lot of Orlando, and then what's the name of the place where Disney is? It Disneyland, Disney World?
Well, there's Disneyland. Oh, I don't
one
remember
in
which
Florida.
is which. But the one in California is also in Ontario, Florida, or California.
Okay.
Like it's in like a city outside of LA. It's not in the city of Los Angeles. So it's also in one like kind of probably a shitty city, just with a lot of space, I imagine.
Right. I feel like those places would probably get old to live in as well.
But I mean, but people don't say they're going to Orlando when they go to Disney. They say they're going to Disney.
Right.
Disney is the city.
Right.
And you can, and much like Cedar Point, much like Disney, you can stay in these little epicenters for a week and experience a whole vast variety of things. Go to Epcot, go to Universal, go to Disney, go to whatever other stuff people do. I don't know. But but yeah, I don't know anything about Orlando.
Me either.
And it seems
They
like
have a basketball team.
yeah, but it seems like a peak sort of Florida city outside of the Disney stuff. Even the Disney stuff, though, because some of the Disney stuff is a little cringy. I'm not
You know what?
lie.
Another place that I saw that came up on Quora that I thought was interesting that I didn't think
Quora.
about because I've never been there before and haven't visited, but also Hawaii. Some people said, it's
I heard Hawaii is a it's a very expensive place to live because obviously it's an island, so just getting goods cost more in general.
right.
So I can imagine that. I think I think I might disagree with that. If I had enough money, and I don't mean like Mackenzie Scott level money,
Right.
I mean just enough money where I could live comfortably. I'm a light millionaire. I could still probably see the benefit of retiring in a place like Hawaii. But the thing is, I have to be rich, But I could definitely still see the benefit in that. Okay. Like I think the only reason that would be is because it is an expensive place to live. So if I'm someone that's trying to build wealth or build, myself up and I'm in an entry level position, it's probably going to be a tough place to live off of like $60,000 a year or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the places I'm thinking of, I don't think I'd want to live if I had money or didn't have money.
Right. For sure. For sure.
But I could definitely understand Hawaii. You know a place that I could think of, speaking of if I had money or didn't have money? Lisbon, Ohio.
Why
Lisbon, Ohio is where I went to the getaway, out in the middle of nowhere. And that was an awesome trip, which I honestly really want to do again. But it was a level of Trump country that I've never seen before. And it was also, it was peak middle of nowhere. Like it was very middle of nowhere. And I just really have no interest in that level of to live in that level of solitude. It's not even like I'm afraid of the solitude. It's just I feel like I enjoy having access to cities close by.
Absolutely.
And so like Pittsburgh is like an hour away, but which we did go to, even though we were planning on being on this fully sequestered vacation. Granted, we did stay away from people, just to be clear. This was during the pandemic, and we stayed safe. But anyway, I think I would probably find like a place closer to Pittsburgh if I was really looking for that vibe, rather than middle of nowhere Ohio like that. And honestly, it wasn't shocking. I guess it's. I knew this existed, but just the level of Trump paraphernalia honestly doesn't feel very welcoming, and I'm not a huge fan of the aggressive religion in some of these areas too. It's just not the vibe that I'm interested in.
Sure.
So, I 100% would like to go back to that getaway at some point,
Okay.
and I like the idea of living in that city that I talk about, but having that getaway where I put my phone in a little wooden crate for 3 days and make food over the fire.
Sure. Well, I think what is really interesting about places that are good to visit but not to live in, I think a lot of it comes down to convenience. Right? So
I value convenience. Yes.
convenience also, I think for me at least, and a little bit for you as well, is also just the sheer number of people or population density in a spot, right?
But I want to be close to the population density.
Right.
Like I like the idea.
But you don't want to be in the population
Right. Like
density.
I don't want to live like in Manhattan or like
Right.
Center City, Philadelphia.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Like I loved where I lived in G9. If I would have been downtown, I think it would have felt a lot tighter.
See,
know?
I liked where I live in Philadelphia, but I think that it's probably too city for you.
Maybe could be.
But I enjoyed that a lot. I would have to reconsider it. It wasn't ideal, like having. I mean, I had a parking spot, but having a car and stuff is not ideal because my car got destroyed by my neighbors just dinging it all the time and parking on the street and stuff like that. But still, like I do like the city life, you know, and so like it's to me like it's not even about I like to visit New York City when I live there because it's like no I might. I know. It's not that I'm against living in a place like that. It's more just the price of it, because Philly doesn't really, at least didn't have that.
Right.
It's not as pricey as a place like San Francisco or New York or something like that.
And that's another good reason why some places are definitely better to visit than to live in.
Like
for
Switzerland.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I would agree. What are some other reasons why a place might be good to visit but not to live in? I have one idea. This one's maybe a little controversial, but how do I say it? Untrustworthy or just like corrupt systems, like whether that be government, immigration, police.
Like an all-inclusive resort in Cancun or something like that?
Right.
Where you get in a van, you drive to the resort.
You stay at the resort. You get back in that van.
To the airport,
and
fly
you go home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. Where, I mean... I actually sometimes just for fun I like to just go on Google Maps and just needle drop in a random location and just go around the street. And I believe it's Cancun. I mean, there are a few locations like that, like those all inclusive tropical locations in Mexico, and my partner's been to one or two of them, and her dad rented a car and drove them to the resort, and. And she said it was a little sketch at some point for sure. Like it's not like it never got dangerous,
right?
But it definitely felt like it could,
right?
And so I could definitely imagine. And that's not really and those are weird. Those are such weird ecosystems to me because they're a lot of those places. Like if you go outside of this, they're sort of like poor cities.
Yep.
But then they have just these amazing resorts that are just set up for essentially wealthy people from other countries to come in and exploit and then leave.
Yep.
And then just, you put blinders on when you drive to and from the airport.
Right.
And then just enjoy this sort of made up paradise. Because it is sort of a made up paradise. Yeah. Because that's not really the reality of what's happening there. I mean, it is the reality of at the resort.
Right.
But I've never done those before. But I think as I talk about how terrible they feel, yeah. But I feel like I could imagine the enjoyment in it, and you could do something like that even in like Florida or something like that. Like you don't have to, like I mean, what's the difference? No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible.
Now this is one that's maybe not living, but kind of short term versus long term. Can you imagine how awful it would be to be on a cruise ship?
Ooh, my god!
Like if you had to live on the ship for like a year. Ooh, that would be rough.
Yeah, I mean, people
like a couple
do that.
weeks. I know they do. So that's how some people make their entire livelihoods.
Yeah, no, I just can't imagine that because I feel like the older I get, I'm starting to get more and more claustrophobic.
How much money would you need to if I was like Jared, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars for you to live on a cruise ship?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how it works. Those people usually are not making great money.
Obviously not.
To live on a cruise ship. And that's all just for a year.
Your room and board is covered.
And then I just essentially get $500. Well, how much did you say?
I didn't say anything. I want you to
just
tell me
just how much I make for a year.
year.
That's just the pure money I'll get. Okay.
Yep. You don't have to have a job. If you want to work, you can, but you don't have to. How much money would it take?
I'll be realistic, you know, because I have to think about how much I could obviously make at a job versus my discomfort versus having to find a job after. Mm-hmm. It's like $400,000 to $500,000.
Ooh, okay, that's
what kind of ship are we talking? By the way, is it like some sort of
talking like a nice
marine
Royal
biologist?
Caribbean?
Okay. Okay. Not like a aircraft carrier or something in the military. Okay, so I have like nice food and some terrible comedian and Kid Rock.
Right.
Okay.
A swimming pool.
And a whole bunch of horny singles and couples
yep.
to choose from.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, then I'd probably lower it to like $350,000 to $400,000 is probably where I'd start thinking about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it is torture, I guess, but it's not really torture.
Right.
And it's not like I'm not at danger really. I'm not unless there's a COVID outbreak
Right.
while I'm out there.
Right.
It's just kind of monotonous after a while, and it's
Well, and you're stuck.
yeah.
You know, it's not like you can.
And I don't love boats. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not in love with boats.
You're not a
I'm
nautical
not a ship person.
Right.
No. I'd rather just
Okay.
take an airplane and get to where I'm going and
That's
enjoy the terra firma. as they say.
Lately, I've been getting. I don't know if it's just you hanging out with me and rubbing off on me or what, but I've been getting a little bit more into cars lately.
How so?
Just looking at different models and thinking about. Thinking more like, I don't know, as a kid I always liked Mustangs. I don't know why.
Mustangs are cool and they're very attainable.
Yep.
Like it's a very easy car to get for like a starting enthusiast, especially at your age.
Right.
Just don't end up as a Mustang.
You sound so old saying at your age.
At my age too, I'm just not really
Right.
looking for a Mustang.
Are we too old for Mustangs now,
No,
Jerry? Is
not
that-
at all. Dude.
Is that
Not
what
at all.
you're saying?
Not at all. I'm sure the average age of a Mustang owner is
Probably
probably
in his
older
40s,
than us.
yeah.
But don't turn into the Mustang meme. Are you
What's that?
familiar with the very, very popular? And I'm not even kidding. It's super popular in the car community. Is
Okay.
the Mustang meme, and that's at like car meets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they'll do like burnouts or cool like skids and stuff out, and it's always
Mm-hmm. crash it.
It's always the Mustang spinning out and crashing into people.
Yes. yep. Yep.
Now it actually is starting to turn into Chargers and Challengers a bit more.
The
too.
Hellcats?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even the 392s that think that want a Hellcat.
Right.
But traditionally it's been the Mustang people.
Mustang
that
or
have been,
Hellcat?
Personally, I would go Charger Hellcat.
Okay.
Just I think they look better a little bit. No, maybe I go Mustang. I really like the Chargers. I think they're cool, but just the image that goes along with it honestly might be worse than the image of a Mustang owner.
Yeah, probably.
They're always loud. They're always like swerving through traffic.
Yep. Yep.
I don't feel like that's not really the Mustang like vibe as much.
No, I don't think so
I just don't want to be in that audience, to be honest with you.
that's
But I think actually I prefer I'd probably prefer the Charger like Hellcat.
Okay.
Maybe not a Challenger. If it was a Challenger, I'd probably go Mustang.
Fair enough.
If I'm going two doors.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, my whole point with cars, bringing that up though, is I think that can be a big factor in like visiting versus living.
Sure.
Right. You want to live. I would
Yes.
rather live in a very drivable city. I'm fine visiting somewhere.
Very true. I mean, it's ideal, honestly, to visit a place. At least for me personally, I imagine for you too. We've traveled together. It's ideal to live in a place where you don't have to drive. You know,
Take a
learning a new
train.
driving culture is a headache. Paying for a car,
Yep.
parking in Europe especially is always expensive.
And there's a lot of costs that come with it: gas,
Exactly.
insurance,
And just-
parking,
and you get something else to worry about.
Hop,
and so
let me hop on a train and just read my book
Exactly.
or listen to my music or take a nap and take me where I need to go.
Buy a €3 ticket and I'm good for the day or whatever.
Yep.
That's probably cheap, but anyway, I'm with you. But I like the idea. As a car person, as you said, I like the idea of a drivable city. I like the idea of having a car. We grew up in car having town here in Michigan.
Yep.
And I want to have one just as an enthusiast. But even in Philadelphia, as I said, I like cities, but it was a little bit of a headache, and I had to essentially at a point give in to the fact that my neighbors were just constantly going to ding the side of my car.
Right.
And so that was
You didn't
kind
put
of.
any stickers up.
I talked to him. I told you about this, didn't I?
Right.
Because I talked to him. I was like, "Hey, could you be a little more careful with your door? Like, there's a bunch of dings and like door dings." They're like, "Oh, that was us." And I was like, first of all, and then I'm like, and I wanted to say, so you saw it, but I didn't go that far.
Right.
But I was like, well, yeah, I mean, they're all sort of concentrated in the same area. And if you look, I can sort of see a mark on the edge of your door from paint chipping on your door.
Right.
So I imagine that, and since I park in the same spot in the same direction every day.
Right.
And they have a kid. They just had a kid too, so there was a lot of swinging the door, the back door all the way open, and just
Yep.
kind of leaning against it, not paying attention. And so that's not funny. I kind of
Actually, is a little.
so I kind of just had to and even my parents were like, well, they have a kid like you would, and I'm like, so I just have to give into the
Let
fact
him
that my
ding my
car is
car?
getting beat up. Like that's such a weird thing that I just have to give into. But now I have my own driveway, and I don't really have to concern
That's the
myself
way
with
to do
that,
it.
So,
Yeah.
And so I do like the idea of living in a more driver-friendly, and it's cheaper to have a car here, obviously, insurance-wise, and stuff like that.
So let's actually go through and let's see if we can kind of come up with a list of like what would make a place more livable for us versus better to visit.
Okay.
Right. So for trips, I would say we would both agree on like easy transportation. So public transportation,
Although-
good trains.
I would like, yeah.
Although road
sure.
trips can be nice, but then you
Yeah,
also
I'm
have
with
to
you.
visit a place that's very drivable. Which,
I'm just thinking. Yeah, I think about my partner because she's definitely is team public transportation, living in a strong public transportation place.
Right, which is
I'm not
nice.
as concerned about that.
right. Yeah. Well, I see the benefits of it. It's really nice when you don't have
Yeah,
to worry about
I like
having
that
a
it
car.
exists.
But I kind of like driving.
Me
you
too.
know,
And
maybe
it's just
we
the
grew up
convenience
with
of it. I like the convenience
Yep,
of
can
it.
go anywhere
It's a-
you want, whenever.
So I'd say, but when I travel, I like places that have a extensive, easy to use public transportation system.
Or affordable, like ride sharing or taxis or something. Like when I was in,
I'd still say extensive public
well,
transportation is more
that's
important
a
to
better
me.
choice
Yeah.
for sure. But I would say that the next runner up, I would say,
Like
would
even
be
in
that.
Toronto when I went there last year for New Year's, we drove there and then just parked the car and took public transportation the whole time. We were like slightly outside of the downtown area, but still like within the line of the public transportation.
Right.
And it was a perfect situation. So yeah. Public transportation versus driving. I would say the concentration of tourists it kind of makes a difference to me. I don't want to be
living versus visiting.
I don't want to be in a place where I'm bumping into tourists or
No, thank you.
or constantly like hearing loud tourists say stupid stuff. Sometimes
Being
it was
drunk
fun
on the street.
Sometimes in Philly, it was fun to dip into that, because as I said, I could essentially walk to it if I really wanted to. And, sometimes I did like to go on long walks. So sometimes it was fun to dip into that and have the ability to just be like, let me just see like what kind of craziness I can run into on a long walk. But then it was also sort of nice to retreat a little bit. And I didn't have a great retreat because I could noise level was still higher than probably would have been ideal for some people. But I would say just
That's another interesting one to mention, though, is noise level. I think I could not live in a very loud place, but I can definitely visit. Or I could live I think the longest I would really want to live in a noisy city would be maybe a year. But who knows? Maybe after that year I'd get used to it and I'd be fine with it. Who knows?
It is weird. It is weird because during my interview when I was looking for a job here, there were multiple sirens that would go off, and at some point I just said like, sorry, I live in a city. Like this is what happens.
Right.
But these were also, I think it was good. I was interviewing with well-traveled people, so I don't think they were as shocked at the idea of just all the city noise in the background.
Noise, sure.
But still, like it was kind of annoying. And so I think. I'd say maybe where I lived in Philly, the place that I talk about wasn't ideal, but I still like that access to the city situation. So another one I would say would be, what do we say? Oh, price-wise. Livability. So I'm not going to spend, $3,000 to live in a closet just to live in a cool city like San Francisco.
I don't think it's worth it.
Or like Williamsburg, Brooklyn or something like that.
In worst case scenario, I'd rather live elsewhere for a while, stack that money, stack that paper, and then, because
I like the idea of living comfortably within my price range. That's the thing.
Yep.
And I think, it's crazy to me, as I said, to live in a place like San Francisco, be essentially making maybe low but it's six figures, but low into the six figures and not live comfortably.
Right.
Like that doesn't even comprehend in my mind as something that should make any sense.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And so the idea that I'm making over $100,000 and I have roommates first of all.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks.
Or I have to share a half a closet with someone. It's like that doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll take $60,000.
What's the point of making? Yeah, exactly.
Save.
What's the point of making that much money if you have to live that uncomfortably?
Exactly.
I don't, and maybe I get it if I were an artist or something, and it's like I have to live in New York because that's where my industry
the gigs are.
is.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to live a shitty lifestyle for a bit for my art, but I'm not an artist. I'm a desk jockey. I could be replaced at any moment. No one cares. Well, yeah, what's another one for you?
Another big one, living versus visiting. I would just say city and country. I like visiting the city.
Yeah.
I would rather live in the country.
Yeah.
I like it better. It's quieter.
I like
It's-
the city. I want to live in the burbs.
That's fair.
Close to the city. I like that close access, and I like I do like some sort like around here. I don't have a problem with Dexter, but I think it is a little too. Everything is a little too far away. I used to live in Clarkston actually, which is similar. Maybe not anymore because they've built up really fast. But back in the day when it was kind of a new area, it was a similar vibe to Dexter. And I mean, it was nice as a kid. I had a giant backyard.
That's the way to do it.
And like you do here, and it's peaceful, and you have like all your friends and stuff when you're a kid. But I don't know. When I'm older, I feel like I like the city aspect a little more, so I want to be closer to it.
Right. That makes sense.
So yeah.
Let's see here. What else? I think.
I have another one that I didn't think of. Access to industry, job industry.
Yeah.
Jobs is a key one. So like as I mentioned,
I would say jobs and goods. Like if buying stuff is really expensive, that's
sure.
a bad one too. But jobs are.
But
like
as I mentioned, like a tropical destination. Whether it's a place like whether it's not really a big booming industry place. There's not a lot of opportunity to get like a salary office job on some of these tropical getaway islands, or even like
you don't want to be a surf instructor on a tropical island, Jared?
Or even like the fact that I work in the car industry, and that has pushed me into like essentially the suburbs of Michigan,
Right.
where it's like that's where the industry is, and I'm willing to live in a as my mic was willing to live in a place like this to to go where the jobs are.
You just got to get into the boat industry and you'll be good to go.
The jobs are not always in the tourist. I don't get in the boat industry. What, I got to move to Florida, hang out in Miami a lot.
That's right.
I feel like the boat industry is shady. Granted, not like manufacturers that make boats,
Right.
But like selling boats seems shady.
Maybe.
Can this thing? How many kilos can this thing hold? But yeah, so I think jobs is a big thing. Where jobs a lot of times is not going to take you to like. Sometimes it will, and not necessarily is going to take you to like the coolest place. But for me, or for anyone that knows the industry, like I know for the car industry, I can't think of any car headquarters that's in like a big cool city because it doesn't really make any sense.
Right. It's too expensive.
Even in like Germany, they're in like smaller, kind of suburbs outside of the cities that we know of or whatever. And so I think jobs is another big one for me.
You know what's a big one for me is climate. Like I love, like when I was in Bali for most of February, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could live there permanently.
Yeah, see, I disagree with that. Maybe not. I don't know if I could live in Bali temperature-wise. I've never been there. But I could definitely live in a place that doesn't get cold like here.
I like the cold. I like the snow.
I don't need it. I don't have a huge problem with it. It's nice. We've had some good snow over the past couple of days. It's very nice to see, especially when you don't have any. Clearly, you haven't been anywhere. I've seen your car.
Right.
It's very nice to just look at and peaceful. But I don't need it. I don't need it. I could sacrifice the peaceful beauty of it for just a place that's like even LA-esque, where it's just
Warm all the time.
75 to 90 or whatever it is. Every day. I could be okay with that.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe I could get used to it. I don't know.
I think I'd be more sensitive about humidity, to be honest with you, because
for sure.
Philadelphia's climate was terrible, not because it got cold, but because it got disgustingly humid. Like it reminded me of Louisiana. It was that bad, and it's like this is. Like as soon as you go outside, you get sweaty, kind of humid.
That's the worst when your shirt is just
you can
stuck
feel
to
it.
you.
It's heavy.
Yep.
And it's the humidity that bothers me more than the heat. So like I'd probably try to avoid that more than I would just a straight up place. Oh, but Bali's humid too, right?
It was a little bit, yeah.
But
depends
not,
where you
not
are.
Like, not like
Bali.
this, like Louisiana.
Well, I've never really. I've been to
that's
Florida.
Well,
Florida
that's a similar
is pretty
comparison.
humid.
That's the same comparison.
Yeah. Not a fan of humidity.
Yeah,
for sure.
Sure.
So
No,
climate's a big one. Another one too, though, is like the landscape around you. Like I loved, I shouldn't say I loved because I hope to go back there soon. But I love visiting where my uncle used to live in Red Lodge, Montana. It's gorgeous out there, but you're this little podunk mountain town the only way to really go one way, you got basically only a few ways out of the town, and one of them is like through the mountains.
Sure.
And so just like a place where it could be very difficult if you needed to get somewhere else for something or for an emergency.
Yeah, everything is at least an hour away.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's a place I would want to live. I'm okay
Yeah.
visiting there, especially for like the nature. Go there for a couple weeks or something.
Your car has 100,000 miles on it after like a year.
Right.
It's like, this is normal.
After a couple months, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's already rusting after 2 years. It's like, oh yeah, no, this is normal. What are you talking about? So yeah, that's my list. I don't have anything else. I think that's a pretty comprehensive list of good to live versus good to visit.
Mm-hmm. I would say another really big one for good to, I would say maybe good to visit, but not so much good to live. Not that I wouldn't mind this if I lived in this kind of scenario, but like I think of like really bustling cities like New York or Vienna or Berlin, where there's always stuff to do, which I think is awesome. But I feel like if I lived in a situation like that, one, I'd be spending a lot more money, and two, I feel like to some degree it's a little overwhelming.
I think you'd be surprised.
Okay. Maybe I just like my peace and quiet.
Also, I don't know if I mind spending more money if I'm spending it on experience. Like if I'm spending
That's
it,
fair.
like if I'm in a place that has amazing food and amazing scenes or whatever, and I'm enjoying myself, is that wasting money or is that what I'm
living life.
Exactly,
Yeah.
what I'm prioritizing to be
I
important
guess
in my life.
I guess the key is
Also, what are you going to do? You don't.
it goes
cook.
down to affordability.
You can't cook, so
So I'm spending money on food.
You just prefer frozen pizzas for the rest of your life?
You better believe
Just
it.
an endless DiGiorno.
Exactly. Endless DiGiorno. You know it. You know it.
I mean, it's interesting to me that you have a problem with all these options as someone that doesn't, it's not like a huge cook.
Well, I
or
mean,
cook at all.
I mean more so just a place where it's like when I think of certain spots in New
Like
York,
excess.
yeah,
I
and it's
understand.
like really expensive, fancy stuff.
Sure. Well,
you know
see,
what
that's
I mean?
the thing, though. I mean, there's obviously that in every big city, but you also, that's the fun, though, is finding like the neighborhood spots.
Right.
Finding like I had spots in my neighborhood. Really, if I was honestly doing a full nights out, I could do it all within a 15-minute walk of my home, maybe even less than that, maybe 10 minutes. And like I had all these places that had nothing to do with, or nowhere close to the major downtown city where it's all like the super hip cool, and there's some super hip cool places around, but I think that's part of the fun is finding like those like the neighborhood spots in the city,
Right.
because you have so many options. That's what I like about it, at least.
Yeah, I mean it's really cool. I guess just for me, I've been so busy with work and everything else. I just feel like I don't know, living here, I don't feel like I'm missing out on much. Whereas I feel like if I was so busy with work and then if I lived
That's such
in
an
a bustling
American
city,
mindset.
it is.
I'm
It's
too
very
busy
American.
working to go to different restaurants.
Well, it's
and
not.
enjoy
It's
myself.
not too busy.
What's
It's-
the point of living in these places if I'm just going to work all the time anyway?
Right? Yeah.
That's kind of what you just said, isn't it?
yeah. But I guess that's the difference. Is I would rather live here and work a lot. Whereas if I lived in a city, I wouldn't want to work as much. Probably because I would want to be out
Yeah.
doing a lot
See, I
more
don't
stuff
think that you've lived in cities before, and it's not
Yeah.
like you've almost got fired from jobs
all the time.
because of
every
it. It's like
job.
we can't keep Chad out of Prague.
Right.
He doesn't show up to school anymore, Chomutov, because
Right.
he's too close to this big city.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy, Jared. Who knows?
Listen, I didn't say that, but we just feel differently. We have different needs in life, and that's okay.
Yeah, cities are great, but I don't know. I think a lot of it comes down to affordability. Like we talked about the kind of lifestyle you can live versus how you would want to live it.
Sure.
Right. And I can tell you, unless I make some groundbreaking achievements here, if I were to work as like a teacher in a lot of these cities, I can tell you it would not. My
Yeah.
existence would not be the greatest.
What if
existence.
you're a highly respected professor at NYU or Columbia? Then
you'd probably be
enjoy a
doing
pretty nice brownstone or something.
What is that?
That's like one of those like Cosby Show houses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a walk up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know though. The places where I felt the happiest to live have also been places where like I really liked actually my spot in Chomutov. Like it was, I was close enough to like nature. I could walk to a lot of places in the like little city/town I was living in.
Sure.
It was close to Prague.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Whereas, so if you had to take your pick, what would you say might be the maybe the best place to visit but worst place to live, and then the other way around?
The best place to visit? I don't know. That's a hard thing. Where's the best place to visit?
Like a place you think would be great to visit, but you're like, I could not live here.
Probably Rome. Rome.
Okay.
I think Rome's awesome.
Okay.
But it seems like a shit show a little bit. Like there's a lot going on.
Right.
Or Paris even.
Okay.
Paris seems like a little too much for me. I love Paris and it seems like a cool city, but it seems I don't know, a little too much. Too much going on. I don't need that much.
Right. I would say for me, because I'm trying to think of places I've actually gone to, not places I was reading about, because I feel like that's it's hard to.
Or like Tokyo.
Right.
Tokyo to me seems like a great place to visit, but I mean that's like the picture of congestion.
Right.
I don't want to get slammed into a train every day.
Well, I can tell you,
I don't want to sleep in a pod during the week.
I can tell you, I wouldn't. I don't think I would want to. I loved visiting Shanghai.
Yeah,
but there was so much like traffic and stuff, and
super congested.
Yeah,
a lot of lights.
Yep. Yeah, lots of sounds.
Yeah, see
cars beeping, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Because even now my room was in the basement. Was in the basement in one of my places that I lived in, and then sort of off the road a little bit. But still, you'll hear a random siren in the middle of the night.
Right.
You'll hear horns honking in the middle of the night. Sometimes you'll hear some people arguing, and just have to be like, "Well, just have to let that happen, I guess."
Right. Well, yeah. What can you do, right?
Exactly. It's like I'm not getting involved.
Right.
One time I saw in my first apartment in Philadelphia. I was on the 6th floor, and I looked out over a public parking lot, and I could see a guy just going around pulling on door handles.
Uh-oh.
And
hey.
And well, no, I didn't call him. I called it took a bit, but I called the police, and then by the time the police got there, the guy was already gone. Yeah, and I'm like, see, this is just pointless.
Right.
And it's kind of bummer to just see that, because then, I mean, it's not keeping me awake at night, but I'm like, well, now that could happen. Now I gotta
make sure you keep
thrice to keep my car locked, because now I know that he's just lazily pulling on handles, and I saw him go into a car or two. So clearly, I mean, it works. I've left. It happened to me once, actually. My car at my second place.
Didn't you get your shades stolen?
I got my and my iPod Touch from 2008.
Right.
Yeah, I got my prescription sunglasses and my iPod Touch that really you can't even get into. The only thing that works on it is the music aspect of it, and you don't even have the code for it. So yeah, I got caught once, and it was just a simple. I left my car unlocked.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Sadly, that's all it takes.
Yeah, it's that easy. It's a numbers game too in a city like a giant city like that with all the cars parked on the street. It's like someone, at least a couple people, just forgot to hit the lock button.
And that's one of many reasons.
I mean, that's
why.
another thing, a safety thing. I'll visit a place where I'm probably more likely to get robbed, for example, than I would live there.
Sure.
So like New York, for example, Philadelphia. Well, I lived in Philadelphia, but like Chicago, for example, like right in the middle of the city. It's like I don't feel like constantly being like oh, now someone broke my window, or like in San Francisco. I remember when I visited there a few times, some cars, like especially like a Jeep Wrangler, like the older Jeeps, had like those plastic windows that you could zip off. So instead of people sometimes they get cut into, and so Jeep, or car owners in general, or like convertibles. That's another one too, where you can like cut into it. It would say like the car's unlocked and I don't keep anything in it, and they like have that sign that they'd stick on the window. I don't want to live like that.
Right.
I don't want to have to put a sign on begging people like, listen, if you're gonna break in to see if there's anything in here, just open the door. I beg you, just open the door if you're gonna break into my car.
Right.
I don't want to live like that.
Yeah. No, that does not sound good in any regard.
And it's like, I promise you're not going to find anything, but you're still going to look, so just pull the handle.
Yep, pull it. There it is.
There's nothing in here.
Right. You'll get a couple ketchup packets and maybe 25 cents, and that's about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think for me as well, living somewhere, I like somewhere that's a little bit more quiet.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, it's just there's something about it. I don't know. And as much as I love people, it is nice sometimes to kind of be a little bit more on your own.
Sure,
you know?
I get that. I mean, I think it's very possible to feel like you're on your own in a big city too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's I don't know if but I get what you're saying though. I hear you.
You're picking up what I'm putting down, Jared.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I think we've covered everything today for some of the worst places to live, but good places to visit. So let us know if there are any other places that you really enjoy visiting but could not imagine living there. Definitely let us know at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can slide into those DMs on Twitter, untranslatable1, the number 1. And you can check out when our episodes drop and all sorts of other good tweets and retweets from my man Jared. And you can check us out on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. And please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Děkujeme, muchas gracias, shusha, and do svidania. Who knows? Maybe in 5 years I'll be living in a city and listening to this episode and thinking, what was I thinking?
Yeah. But so far, it seems like you've had small control over where you can live.
That's true.
You know, because like you're obviously finding these fellowships, and it's sort of like, well, we can place you here. And it's like, okay, I'll live here.
Right.
But it's not like you're really choosing where you get to live. And so, when's the last? You've never really truly gotten to choose where to live. You lived. The first time you lived alone, what is grad school, which is obviously because you went to grad school there.
Right.
It's not like
although I did kind of choose
but
that
you didn't
place.
choose East Lansing because you love the city.
Right.
You chose it because the school's there.
Exactly.
Which is, I guess, another reason I live.
Well, if I go to Detroit, it'll be kind of the same reason.
Yeah, for work. I'm telling you, jobs is a big.
That's the huge one.
That's kind of the first reason for me.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had the luxury to like pick a climate.
Right.
Pick the scenery I like.
Well,
and
I hope
the city like
I hope
lifestyle.
at some point, both of us will be able to do that.
I mean, I liked Philly, and it was cool to live in a city, but that was still just because
work,
a job. Yeah, I'm like, this is the job that I like, and it allows me the opportunity to live in a city, which I've never done before. That's cool. And now I'm like, well, they let me go, so I'm back here.
Right, exactly.
Working where I can now. Yeah, it's just, now this place hired me.
Work is
so I'm back here.
For sure. But I mean, if I could choose, I don't know, there is something appealing, like I said, to have like that little plot of land in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then maybe have a house closer to where